Hello, my name is Samantha Jacquez, and today I will be presenting the impact of trauma informed practices on students' mental health and academic successes in middle schools. This study will examine whether trauma informed practices improve students' mental health and academic successes. Students' mental health is and continues to be a growing concern in all schools, and trauma can negatively affect learning, your emotional well being, and behaviors of all ages. Schools are increasingly implementing trauma informed practices to better support students, and more research is needed to understand how trauma informed practices affect middle school students. My research question is: how does trauma informed practices influence students' mental health and academic achievements among middle school students? My hypothesis is students who attend trauma informed schools will be able to present better emotional well beings, higher academic achievements, there will be fewer behavioral referrals, and the attendance will improve. Why trauma matters. Trauma can affect students' emotional well being, and trauma can interfere with learning, behavioral, and relationships. Students who experience trauma usually often need additional support in schools, and trauma informed practices help schools create a safer and supportive learning environment, which is very key. My research findings, I used three. My first one is Butler and Sultan. They found that trauma informed practices may improve academic achievements, which is important. Positive school relationships support student well being, and school culture and leadership influences success when implemented correctly. Brenzel and his colleagues found that improved emotional regulation and stronger student teacher relationships, and there was an increase on classroom engagement. My last one, Mullen and his colleagues had said that students need effective implementation strategies, leadership, staff training, and school wide collaborations are very critical, and more research is needed on the implementation and students' outcomes. My participation, I'd like to see at least 200 middle school students, grades 6 through 8, one um, from two different middle schools, but in the same district, and one school obviously implementing trauma informed practices, while the other kind of just uses a traditional student support. The participants will be recruited through school administration after parent consent and student um, are able to obtain consent as well. My data analysis and data collection, for my data analysis, the descriptive statistic and an independent sample t-test to compare outcome between the two schools. And my data collection would be grade point average, attendance records, behavioral referrals, and I would do a strength and difficulties questionnaire to assess students' mental health. My expected hypothetical findings, disclaimer: the following data is hypothetical and explains and provides only just an illustration of what I feel like is expected, the expected outcome of my proposed study. So, students who are actually attending schools that implement informed practices are exceeded to show higher academic achievements, better attendance rates, less behavioral referrals, and on average, their scores are pretty high than compared to people who attend traditional support practicing schools. Potential implications: trauma informed practices may improve students' mental health. Schools may experience fewer behavioral concerns. The findings could encourage additional trauma informed training and school wide implementation, which I find important. And students may demonstrate stronger academic achievements, which is always the goal. further research. If I were to take my research further, this is kind of things that I would like to expand on, is the study to include elementary and high school students, because everybody suffers with trauma starting at a young age, and examining the long-term effects on trauma informed practices on student outcomes. I'd like to also explore the teacher parent perspective and investigate how different levels of trauma implication affects student success. My conclusion. So, my takeaways from this um, presentation where trauma can significantly affect students' mental health and academic successes. Trauma informed practices may improve students' well being and school performances. And supporting students through trauma informed approaches may create a healthier learning environment, a safer learning environment, and improve educational outcomes, which is what we all look for as parents and as teachers. And additional research can help schools make the right informed decisions about implementing trauma practices. And then my references. Thank you.